huge car shortage fueled by a chip shortage. General Motors temporarily shutting down more than half of its plants in North America.
The Chevy CEO, Mary Barra, has announced that the company will be shutting down and laying off their workers. What drove this dramatic shift, and what's the future hold for this iconic brand? With rumors of internal chaos and changing market currents swirling around, employees and industry insiders are left reeling with doubt. Is this the start of General Motors' downfall, and how is it going to affect you? What's happening? The automotive industry is a major factor that drives the global economy forward. Think about it for a moment. This sector impacts millions of jobs, fuels innovation that transforms our daily lives, and acts as a formidable engine for economic growth. When you consider major players like General Motors, their decisions create waves that ripple across the entire industry, affecting everything from the suppliers to the cars lining dealership lots, and even the broader local economies. It's a delicate web. Every choice made by a significant automaker can send shockwaves that are felt far and wide. The reality for those employees facing layoffs is deeply unsettling. But what led General Motors to make the drastic decision to shut down its operations? How could Chevy just shut down like that? Well, let me break it down for you. Financial struggles. General Motors is navigating some serious financial turbulence, especially in the fiercely competitive realm of electric vehicles. As the world shifts gears towards sustainable transportation, General Motors finds itself grappling with not only significant losses, but also a gigando backlog of vehicles that are just sitting there, waiting to be sold. Let's talk about what's happening in this colossal automotive powerhouse and why it matters, not just for General Motors, but for the entire auto industry and consumers like you and me. To kick things off, let's talk numbers. CEO Mary Barra has been crystal clear about the financial strain that General Motors is under. The company's electric vehicle ventures have racked up losses that soar past the $1 billion mark. Now that's a hefty sum, enough to make anyone's jaw drop. So what's driving these losses? For one, we're seeing a classic case of supply and demand gone awry. General Motors is currently sitting on a staggering backlog of nearly 92,000 unsold electric vehicles. To put it bluntly, they've produced more electric vehicles than they can sell, which is bad news for any business. But wait, it gets even trickier. The root cause of this issue isn't just a lack of buyers. High production costs are playing a major role too. Specifically, the expenses linked to manufacturing electric vehicle batteries are soaring, making it nearly impossible for General Motors to set competitive prices in the market. Can you imagine shelling out a ton of cash on battery production only to find that your vehicles are priced out of consumer reach? That's exactly what's happening, leading to some shocking losses on individual units. For certain models, losses are hitting the stratospheric figure of up to $112,000 each. So with costs this high and sales this low, it looks like General Motors has found themselves in quite the pickle. And if you think things couldn't get worse, let's add another layer to the drama. Recently, General Motors felt the full brunt of an intense strike orchestrated by the United Auto Workers. In just 1 week, this strike alone led to losses exceeding $750 million. That's a staggering setback that clearly indicates how labor dynamics can significantly impact corporate finances. The United Auto Workers strike didn't just hit General Motors in the wallet, it also threw a wrench into production schedules, making an already challenging situation even more chaotic. This disruption didn't just exacerbate existing inefficiencies, it forced General Motors to pause certain operations, stalling their momentum when they could least afford it. So what happens next for General Motors? The company must get a grip on this precarious financial situation fast. If General Motors is going to turn these losses around and compete effectively in the electric vehicle space, they have to reassess their strategy from the ground up. A good spot to start, they need to innovate ways to reduce the staggering production costs. Could we potentially see the unveiling of new manufacturing techniques or strategic partnerships that decrease reliance on expensive materials? The electric vehicle space is rapidly evolving, and the need for energy-efficient, cost-effective production methods has never been more urgent. The cost of complacency. Let's talk about the operational struggle list. For too long, General Motors has been bogged down by inefficiencies in its manufacturing processes that may surprise you. Poor scheduling practices have created gaps in productivity that don't just inconvenience workers, but they also bleed the company dry financially. Imagine a factory bustling with potential yet stalling quitting simply because the right resources aren't deployed at the right times. This is exactly where General Motors stumbles, catching itself in a cycle of wasted time and money. Then there's inadequate maintenance, a sneaky factor that often flies under the radar. You might not think about it while zooming down the highway, but the behind-the-scenes maintenance practices at General Motors have been anything but stellar. An operational plant requires constant care and attention to ensure optimal functionality. When maintenance is overlooked or poorly executed, machines can break down, production slows to a crawl, and the entire operation feels the heat. With so many moving parts, the cost of neglecting maintenance can multiply inefficiencies tenfold. Inventory management also plays a crucial role in General Motors' operational woes. Ever heard the phrase, too much of a good thing? That's what happens when a company can't effectively manage its inventory. General Motors' struggles with inventory aren't just about having too many parts. It's about not having the right parts at the right time. This lack of fluidity can lead to bottlenecks in the production line, further exacerbating delays in delivering vehicles to eager consumers. Consider how these operational inefficiencies pose a significant barrier to General Motors when it comes to maximizing output. If the process and capacity design are flawed, the road to success is muddied with setbacks, as the company faces both increased operational overheads and those frustrating delays in meeting consumer demand. So at the heart of it all, a lack of efficiency doesn't just hurt General Motors' bottom line, it also puts a damper on its reputation among consumers. Now let's move beyond the inefficiencies and talk about another major hurdle: market dynamics. The company's struggle to pivot towards electric vehicle production is a glaring red flag that points to systemic issues within its operational framework. So, what gives? One of the standout criticisms leveled against General Motors is its sluggish response to rapidly changing market dynamics and consumer preferences. While competitors, especially ambitious players like Tesla, have been aggressively scaling their electric vehicle offerings, General Motors appears to be stuck in low gear, cautiously watching from the sidelines instead of taking the wheel and driving innovations forward. Picture this, it's a race, and while the competition is speeding ahead, General Motors is lagging behind, struggling with outdated operational strategies that seem more suited for a bygone era than the cutting-edge automotive future we're barreling towards. This sluggishness isn't just a minor inconvenience, it's had tangible repercussions that have manifested in concrete financial losses. The longer General Motors lingers in this state of inertia, the more it risks becoming irrelevant in a market that's evolving at lightning speed. And let's not forget about marketing, or rather, the lack of innovative marketing efforts that could elevate General Motors' presence in the electric vehicle space. When you think of brands that are pushing the envelope and capturing consumer interest, names like Tesla spring to mind. Their marketing strategies are as much about selling a product as they are about promoting a lifestyle, innovation, sustainability, and cutting-edge technology. General Motors needs a revamp to compete effectively in this narrative, yet it appears to be playing catch-up instead of leading the charge. Now, let's consider the broader implications of General Motors' struggles. As the company wrestles with these operational deficiencies and delays, it risks alienating potential buyers who are increasingly looking for environmentally friendly options. These consumers want more than just transportation. They're seeking a reliable and innovative solution that aligns with their values. If General Motors continues down its current path without making meaningful changes, it might find itself overshadowed by more agile competitors that can quickly respond to these customer demands. The decision by General Motors to lay off employees is sending ripples through the company and its workforce, and the implications are far-reaching. We're not just talking about numbers on a spreadsheet here. These layoffs are deeply impactful for the people involved and the entire corporate culture at General Motors. Let me explain. Let's dig into what this means for employees right now and how these changes could shape their futures in the long run. A community in crisis. The layoffs are heavily concentrated in General Motors' software and services division, and this is fascinating considering that this division is viewed as a critical component of General Motors' strategy to transition towards electric vehicles and advanced technology. In a shocking move, about 600 positions were cut at General Motors Tech campus in Warren, Michigan. But wait, there's more. Additional layoffs are happening across the globe at various locations, extending the impact well beyond Michigan's borders. This isn't just a localized issue, it's a worldwide agenda adjustment that reflects shifts in corporate priorities. We should consider which specific departments are feeling the heat from these layoffs. Areas like vehicle infotainment systems, OnStar services, and advanced driver assistance technologies, think Super Cruise, are among the hardest hit. These sectors are supposed to be at the forefront of General Motors' innovative future, so cutting staff here is a decidedly bold move. This leads us to wonder what General Motors' leadership team is envisioning in terms of direction. Now, here's another layer. These layoffs come on the heels of significant leadership changes within the division. Former executive Mike Abbott's exit due to health issues kicked off a series of decisions that have left employees reeling. Remember, these layoffs represent about 1.3% of General Motors' global salaried workforce, which totaled around 76,000 employees as of late 2023. This number isn't just a statistic. It means that real people, including vital team members with families and commitments, are facing uncertain futures. The immediate impact is palpable. Think anxiety among employees who are still on the job, not to mention the emotional toll on those who received the pink slip. It's tough enough to handle your own work responsibilities, but when colleagues are suddenly let go, it creates a stressful atmosphere that can lead to decreased motivation and trust within the workplace. The sense of loyalty and team spirit takes a hit when employees see their peers escorted out of the building. Let's not overlook the potential ripple effects in the wider community. When over 1,000 individuals lose their jobs, it extends beyond just the factory floors and office spaces. We're talking about effects on families, local businesses, and economies. Job losses mean less spending power in the community. It's a chain reaction that can ultimately lead to less economic stability for everyone. The implications of these layoffs reach far and wide. In essence, they create a ripple effect that alters lives on multiple levels. Now let's take a step back and talk about how various automakers have navigated the tumultuous waters of industry changes and economic pressures. We see an interesting tapestry of decisions and pivotal moments shaping their futures. General Motors, currently facing its own set of challenges, isn't alone in this boat. Throughout history, companies like Ford, Chrysler, and Toyota have all found themselves at crossroads that required drastic changes to their business models and operational strategies. Let's dive into these stories, drawing some eye-opening parallels and lessons from their experiences that could illuminate General Motors' path forward. Resilience and reinvention. Let's talk about Ford's journey through a particularly rocky period in the late 2000s. The company encountered significant financial strain that could make anyone's head spin. The backdrop was a changing economy that didn't favor traditional business practices, which forced Ford to rethink its entire strategy. They rolled up their sleeves and embarked on a major restructuring plan, which included heart-wrenching decisions like closing plants and laying off employees. While it sounds like a scene straight out of a business drama, this restructuring was absolutely essential. Ford recognized that to stabilize its finances and secure its future, it needed to streamline operations effectively. Digging deeper, Ford made a bold move by investing heavily in cutting-edge technologies. We're talking about a keen focus on hybrid and electric vehicles, an area that has since exploded in popularity. This shift wasn't just about keeping up with the competition, it was about laying the groundwork for a sustainable business model that would endure the test of time. By proactively addressing its challenges, Ford emerged from the financial quagmire more resilient and prepared for whatever the market had in store. It's pretty inspiring when you think about the courage it took to make such abrupt changes for the sake of long-term health. And of course, we can't talk about automakers without mentioning the titan of efficiency, Toyota. The company is often lauded for excelling in operational practices with its famed lean manufacturing principles. Let's unpack this. Toyota emphasizes waste reduction and continuous improvement, fostering a culture where every single employee looks for ways to enhance productivity. Picture a workplace where innovation isn't just celebrated, it's a fundamental expectation. This approach has allowed Toyota to maintain profitability, even when the entire economy seems to be taking a nosedive. Now, here's where things get interesting. Comparing Toyota's efficient model with General Motors' current struggles paints a vivid picture. While General Motors grapples with inefficiencies and a slew of issues, Toyota has continuously demonstrated the importance of effective management strategies for navigating complex industry challenges. This contrast contrast highlights not just how to survive in turbulent times, but thrive and even outpace competitors that might have the bigger market share but lack composure. Let's talk about the 2009 bankruptcy story. This was a massive turning point for the automaker. As the company faced financial collapse, it underwent a radical transformation under government guidance. What was at stake? Everything. Chrysler had to streamline operations harshly, which often meant painful cutbacks. The focus shifted squarely onto core products while shedding unprofitable divisions that had been dragging the company down. This laser focus ultimately helped Chrysler not just survive, but actually emerge from bankruptcy stronger than it had been in years. The lesson here is clear. When faced with daunting financial challenges, drastic operational changes can pave the way to recovery. By realigning production capabilities with market demand, Chrysler found new life. Their resilience in the face of adversity serves as a prime example for General Motors today. If General Motors is going to navigate its own troubles effectively, figuring out where inefficiencies exist and shedding what doesn't work could be key to regaining its footing in the competitive automotive landscape. As General Motors navigates through some turbulent times, sparked by recent layoffs and strategic shifts, the company stands at a pivotal crossroads. The landscape is rapidly changing, and General Motors' future outlook will heavily depend on its ability to be flexible, adapt to market demands, and effectively restructure its operations. So, what's the game plan? This section dives into the strategic moves General Motors is making in the wake of layoffs, shining a light on its potential restructuring plans and exciting advancements in electric vehicle production. The reckoning of a legacy. Let's kick things off with a look at the strategic shifts happening post-layoffs. After cutting jobs, predominantly from General Motors' software and services division, it's clear that the company is undertaking a significant restructuring effort aimed at creating a leaner, more efficient operation. These layoffs are far from just numbers on a report. They indicate a fundamental reset within General Motors. Leadership has firmly stated their commitment to simplifying processes to enhance speed and excellence. Now, among the goals for this restructuring is honing in on General Motors' core competencies. By trimming certain teams within the software division, General Motors aims to focus its resources on high-impact areas that align seamlessly with its long-term vision. This includes enhancing vehicle infotainment systems, improving the user experience, and advancing driver assistance technologies. Think Super Cruise and beyond. This is just the tip of the iceberg. The company is also eyeing a closer integration of software and hardware development, which could open the door to more cohesive and compelling product offerings. Imagine a seamless interaction between sophisticated software and cutting-edge hardware. How cool is that? Now we have to talk about investment in technology, a crucial area where General Motors is doubling down despite the recent setbacks in electric vehicle production. In an impressive bid to solidify its foothold in the electric vehicle game, General Motors has earmarked a whopping $35 billion for electric and autonomous vehicles through 2025. This ambitious investment will focus not only on expanding battery production capacities, which are the lifeblood of electric vehicle performance, but also on developing a range of new electric vehicle models utilizing the innovative Ultium platform. This platform isn't just a technical detail. It allows for scalable production of various electric vehicle types, from sleek crossovers to robust trucks, broadening General Motors' market appeal. This flexibility could be a game changer for the company, accommodating diverse consumer tastes. But wait, there's more to the story. General Motors isn't just looking inward, it's also rethinking its approach on the global market front. International markets, particularly China, have proven to be a complex landscape for adaptation. General Motors has faced challenges that resonate with local consumer preferences and habits in what is one of the largest automotive markets in the world. By customizing its approach to various markets, the company is on a mission to enhance its competitiveness globally, all while ensuring its product lineup resonates with diverse customer needs. This adaptability could be the key to not just surviving, but thriving in an increasingly dynamic market. Let's face it, the recent challenges have pushed General Motors to recalibrate its focus, doubling down on areas that matter most. This is not just about streamlining, it's about fostering an environment ripe for innovation. If General Motors can successfully harness its resources to promote solid advancements in electric vehicles and integrate its software and hardware capabilities, it could continuously evolve into a formidable competitor in the electric vehicle marketplace. Global market. Let's be real for a moment. The automotive landscape is packed with competition, with players like Tesla leading the charge. General Motors knows it cannot afford to lose ground. The stakes are high, and the diligence in adapting isn't merely optional, it's essential for survival. However, General Motors' investment in technology, commitment to its core competencies, and global market adaptability position it to compete fiercely. Now, as we peer into the future, the potential for growth and recovery hinges on how General Motors adopts these strategic shifts. The promise of a thriving electric future is beckoning, and if General Motors can embrace this moment, it's conceivable that the company will rise like a phoenix from the ashes. In this ever-evolving world where consumer preferences shift faster than you can say electric vehicle, General Motors has an immense opportunity in front of it. The question becomes, will they seize it? As they navigate their way through these challenges, the roadmap they're drafting will be key to restoring confidence in their brand while delivering modern, innovative, and customer-centric vehicles. One can only hope that General Motors' revival will be filled with excitement and creativity, ensuring Chevy remains a household name well into the future. The race for electric supremacy. Let's talk about the revised goals for electric vehicle production. Initially, General Motors aimed for aggressive timelines that promised to deliver new electric vehicle models at breakneck speed. You have to admire ambition, right? However, recent announcements have signaled a more cautious and measured approach moving forward. This isn't a sign of weakness. It reflects a wise decision to thoroughly evaluate market conditions and General Motors' internal capabilities before launching into full-scale production. We're now seeing timelines for certain electric vehicle projects being pushed back to mid-2026, which might feel like a delay, but think of it as a strategic recalibration. Why the change? It's simple. General Motors is acutely aware that the landscape for electric vehicles is shifting rapidly. Potential buyers are increasingly concerned about factors like price, range, and charging infrastructure. By taking the time to reassess and refine their strategies, General Motors can ensure it rolls out products that genuinely meet consumer expectations. This commitment to doing it right, rather than just doing it quickly, could pay off in spades down the line. Now, when we talk about electric vehicles at General Motors, we can't overlook the Ultium platform. This innovation is central to General Motors' strategy for producing a spectrum of electric vehicles. Think of it as the backbone of their electric vehicle lineup. What makes the Ultium platform so groundbreaking? It allows General Motors to manufacture a diverse range of vehicles with different specifications. Imagine everything from compact cars to larger SUVs, all while keeping costs in check. This modular approach isn't just about simplicity in manufacturing, it's about agility. With this platform, General Motors can pivot and adapt its production line according to consumer demands, which is a huge win. One of the upcoming models that are generating buzz is the Chevy Equinox electric vehicle, which is expected to ride the Ultium wave to deliver a product that not only performs well, but also targets competitive price points. Picture this, a dependable electric vehicle that's affordable, efficient, and practical for everyday use. This could be a game changer for General Motors, opening doors to a more extensive customer base eager to embrace the electric revolution. But hold on a moment, there's more in the works beyond just electric vehicles. General Motors is putting serious resources into autonomous technology as well, particularly through its subsidiary, Cruise. The world of autonomous driving is rapidly advancing, and General Motors is eager to position itself as a key player in this space. Imagine a world where you can hail a fully autonomous vehicle with just a tap on your smartphone, all without having to worry about driving. Sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, right? But this is very much the goal for General Motors, as they aim to develop vehicles designed for ride-hailing services, aligning perfectly with broader industry trends. This ambitious focus on automation is both timely and strategic. With cities becoming denser and consumer preferences evolving, there's a growing demand for innovative mobility solutions. General Motors' advancements in autonomous technology could solidify its reputation as a leader in next-generation transportation. By combining electric vehicles with autonomous driving capabilities, General Motors could create a streamlined, futuristic driving experience that's not only environmentally friendly, but also supremely convenient. The journey ahead for General Motors is a thrilling one, full of potential and promise. With electric vehicle production and autonomous advancements at the forefront, we're witnessing a transformative chapter in the company's history. How will they adapt, grow, and ultimately lead the charge into an electrifying future? Only time will tell.